Oh, hey look! There's my Freddy with blue eyes, which it's had the whole time, and I should introduce myself. Hello again, YouTube! I am Dr.Kendo, and we're here with Scribblenauts Unlimited. That's the name of this game. It's in the title of every single Scribblenauts creation video that I do, and I mention it at least once in all of the commentaries. But we're actually taking our Five Nights at Freddy's creations, which hopefully you've seen the first Five Nights at Freddy's Scribblenauts episode that I did. If you didn't, I'll go ahead and annotate to it, of course, so you can find that pretty easily just throughout this episode. But that will show you at least how to create the basic Freddy, Chica, Bonnie, and Foxy shapes. And I actually created Golden Freddy in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 animatronics video. I included him in that one. It's funny just because some of the comments say things like, you forgot Golden Freddy, or you forgot this thing. And I always say forgetting implies that you actually meant to do something, but you just didn't remember to do it. I never meant to make Golden Freddy in that first episode, so, you know, comments that say you forgot him, or you forgot to make Freddy's eyes blue, which was not true either. I made Freddy's eyes blue. But, you know, again, that implies that I just didn't do something because I didn't remember to do it, but that's not the case. But I should get on to what we're creating today. Why would we be using our old animatronic designs? Well, today we're doing something that was also highly requested, which is the withered versions of the animatronics. So it's like the old animatronics that were appearing in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. They're just all withered and whatnot. So I'm just going to call each one of them Withered Freddy, or Withered Chica, Withered Bonnie, you know, etc. So we've actually taken, of course, one of Freddy's eyes off because he does have a blacked out eye. I've seen the little white glint in it, but I've also heard people say, you know, it's the eye missing. So it's not just like a black eye or something like that. It's like the actual eye part is missing. So just consider that dot either a piece of animatronic endoskeleton behind it, or if it is the actual black eye, then that's the glint of light coming off of it. But you probably saw we used the 29-page library Werewolf's Tail on Freddy's left shoulder, which would be to our right as we're looking at it, since we're facing him. But I've also taken just a piece of a tornado. So you probably saw I typed in tornado, and that's what's on his other arm on the other side, which would be his right arm, our left side. And, you know, that piece of the tornado is just sort of one of the more bottom down low pieces that you can grab from the tornado. And there's a pattern on the 14th page of the paint or pattern library that kind of has all this like robotic looking stuff to it, you know, circuitry, I guess, look to it. So I took that as the paint for the rips and tears that are in our Freddy right here, and I just colored it like a dark black kind of color so that, you know, it could look as close as I could to getting it a ripped piece of Freddy Fazbear. So you'll see that kind of similar stuff again as we are now creating Bonnie. This is our old Bonnie design and stuff. I'm first actually going to edit his ears. You know, I'm making them a little bit more decrepit. At least one of them is kind of folded over more. So I'm just going to kind of reflect that, maybe make it look a little bit more withered and whatnot. But to me, I mean, Bonnie has gone through a huge change. So you saw the circuitry that we did right there on the entire headpiece of Bonnie after we took off the eyes and whatnot. Just leave the little colored dots and paint them more red, because now Bonnie is basically faceless Bonnie, you know, so our withered Bonnie is actually faceless, and it does have the little bottom jaw mouthpiece, but to make it look like the top part is gone, you know, we do have teeth right there. Teeth are what I've used for the mouths of all of the animatronics that we've created in this episode. And so you actually just copy teeth again to put some more teeth back there. You know, there is basically an endoskeleton mouth behind that, so that's just a smaller version of teeth that I put behind it. But on our original teeth, the ones from the top layer, that actually you can just color the top part of the teeth all black. If you want to, you can take each individual little tooth and paint them a different kind of color, maybe just give them the circuitry pattern or something like that. For me, I didn't want any of them showing up. The only reason that you might do that is just so that it looks kind of more circuit-ish, you know, it looks like there's more circuitry going on, but I really like this design right here that I'm doing. And so Bonnie also is missing one of his arms, or at least most of it, you know, he's got the shoulder part, so we have reflected that. We've taken the sticky hand that's on his right arm, again, that's to our left, and painted that the circuitry pattern color. And of course, taking this same ripped shape from the tornado, but also you see that on his arm that we took off, we've replaced kind of the arm parts with hackberry. So if you type HACK Berry, you can get that shape and basically try to remove the berries by hiding them underneath the shoulder. So you want to be sure that, you know, you can only see that stem part sticking out, and those are supposed to be like the wires, of course, sticking out of where Bonnie's arm would be. So now we're just placing more pieces of the tornado. You know, you can find all of these little ripped pieces that I'm putting on Bonnie's thighs or legs or whatever right there for the tornado. And it's funny also, the other thing that I thought about Bonnie from previous comments and things things that were kind of interesting is the majority of people don't comment with this, but I have seen, I guess, a fair amount who said, Bonnie is a girl, but not that I really care. I mean, they're animatronics, so that's just for one. You should know that they are animatronics and not human beings or something. But in my research and whatnot, I've been to the official wiki page, at least for whatever that speaks, and around Google and YouTube and whatnot, and Bonnie is a guy. He does have a girl name, but he is a guy. We did actually replace the hackberry that was for Bonnie's missing arm, I should say, with root. I kind of like how the root has more coming out of it and everything. It looks a lot more wiry and things like that, so that's why I did root instead. And hopefully you saw we also used a U and just painted it metallic colored to show that there are bars sticking out kind of in between Bonnie's legs and feet. So now we're moving on. Of course, this one is crazy as well. Chica now looks even more insane. Chica's always looked pretty scary to me, but Chica now is basically has a very wide mouth. The mouth is like broken open, I'm assuming. I don't know the full story there, but in FNAF 2, Chica's mouth is wide open, and there's an endoskeleton mouth within, so we'll try to reflect that, of course, in a little bit, but I'm just trying to get all of the sizing correct, basically. You want to make these teeth really big since they are going to be wide open. You can't really stretch it out in this game, which is unfortunate. That's one thing I wish so much about the object editor in Scribblenauts Unlimited is that you could actually like stretch or skew items, to make them fatter or taller, skinnier, whatever, but you cannot do that. And the other thing, it's like if you think I left something off of the creations, often it's because of the stamp space. So we actually do have a stamp limit, and all of these creations have gone to the max stamp limit. They are at the maximum amount, and we cannot exceed that stamp limit. So we will have to remove some things from our Chica probably to get everything that I want for the Withered Chica, but this is probably about as big as the mouth is going to be open. I, of course, put an eyebrow on the back part of, Chica's beak. Oh, there we go. There's an example of the stamp limit reached. So, it says delete stamps in use to make more room. So that's a perfect example of what it looks like, when you try to put some more stamps in that you can't use. A stamp is basically any object in this game that you use to create your object that you are trying to finish, our main object, which would be Withered Chica in this case. But yes, as I was saying, I'm all over the place, but we do have an eyebrow basically behind the teeth, so the big teeth right there, that's an eyebrow painted yellow to kind of to show that the jaw is going down further, and so that kind of, I think, gives it the illusion that it's more open maybe than it looks off the bat without that. And so I've done hackberry, that's what I used before for Bonnie, but then switched it out for a root. So please use the hackberry here or the root, whichever you think looks better, because Chica is missing her hands and part of her arm, I'm assuming, so that's to show the wires and whatnot coming out of her where her hands would be. So now moving quickly on to Foxy, and the reason again that we move so quickly in these episodes is because, I don't typically like to go too far over 10 minutes. People's attention spans are small, but also that's what my audience has been built around, and that's what does traditionally very well on YouTube. Now, that's not to say that somebody could make videos that are longer than 15 minutes or something, and they are great, they do successful, but I'm just saying in general terms, and this is what I like to do. I think there's kind of an art to keeping it to brevity and to keeping it short. But yes, our Foxy, we put on a sticky hand after removing some things. I removed the belly. There was an egg there for the belly of Foxy, but I removed that, and we've added the werewolf tail up there right next to the ear. Those are fox ears, by the way, up there at the top, but we went ahead and made one of those ears kind of the circuitry color and with that circuitry pattern. And we're actually, since we're so low on stamp space, I'm going here on the 7th page of the pattern library, and there's kind of a red and black pattern, and so we'll take that pattern and apply that to his arms, because that'll make it look like there's more holes in them and things like that, because Foxy already was kind of decrepit a little bit and looked, in sorry shape and whatnot in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, but now he's just been withered down like crazy, so there's definitely rip marks and things everywhere that we won't be able to put because of stamp limit space. It's funny with a game like Scribblenauts Unlimited that is called Scribblenauts Unlimited, you only have a limited amount of stamp space. But yes, I hope you liked everything so far, because now we're at the last one, which will be Golden Freddy, and Golden Freddy is also in some pretty sorry shape. I mean, like all of these are, but let's see. I am actually replacing Golden Freddy's feet with the Treant feet. That's Treant. I know some people were confused on how to spell that, and I didn't show it off when I was creating Bonnie the first time around, so I do apologize for that. Also replacing all of the parts for his eyes with the shoulders that Golden Freddy has. These come from the Golem, so the Golem is the source object in this game that I have used for most of our animatronics other than Foxy. And so if you just paint that shoulder piece all black, I think that that's kind of a better shape for what his eyes look like in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. And of course, I'm taking the Hackberry once again to kind of have the wires coming out where his ear would be. He does have one of his ears missing. And again, the Tornado for the ripped pieces, kind of just using that bottom center piece right there. We're going to put this on our Golden Freddy's thigh or leg. We'll also go ahead and make him hold a microphone right here. And another thing that I might have used in some of my creations is Crane. So if you just type in Crane, C-R-A-N-E, and use the bird, not the vehicle, but just take the piece of the crane bird's neck, and we'll use that about 4 times to make these wires coming out of Golden Freddy's eye. So right there, I made one of them red and the other one's white. It's not super important. Color them whatever you want. You know, I just am looking at a picture right here, and that's kind of what I'm basing it off of. And so I like to iterate to people, you know, my videos are not the end-all be-all. You know, you can definitely create these things kind of how you like to do it. I do please ask that you don't tell me how I could have created something better or whatnot, because, you know, that's not helpful to me, especially after I've uploaded the video. But also, just I create these in my own art style and how I see fit, and I do try to make them look like the characters, and I thank those who say, you know, these look exactly like the characters from the real game. So thank you, and there has been massive support. You know, I love that the Five Nights at Freddy's creations have been getting so much attention. You know, they've gone crazy on YouTube, and within like 10 days, I got up to 30,000 subscribers on this channel. So I thank you very much for that. But check this out. This is going to be amazing. I've got all of them set up, and I have applied the adjective still so that they all stand still. But here's all of the animatronics that we've done up until this point. It's pretty awesome. So there's the Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the Five Nights at Freddy's 1, all that good stuff, and our new withered animatronics who are old and withered. But realizing that a lot of you have subscribed and are newcomers from those Freddy's creation videos that I did earlier on in November, I do just want to let you know, eventually we're going to run out of Five Nights at Freddy's stuff to create. I do have some more ideas that I can do for, you know, Five Nights at Freddy's themed items and things, but we are eventually going to run out of those to create, and so I do hope you'll stick around once those are done with, you know, basically, and we've created them all, because this series already has like 90-something episodes to it, and there's just characters from all sorts of games, and we'll always be creating new characters from new series and old alike. So again, please stick around, but I love you so much. You know, again, I cannot thank you enough for the support. Some of the comments have been really amazing, and you guys are, you know, incredibly nice too. So while there are nitpickers and things like that, whom I despise, I will always focus much more on the positive comments and the great, awesome, supportive people that make up this community. And you guys are what makes it great. So I will catch you on the next vid. And thanks for viewing.
Let's look at it more. My words ain't meant to be about waging war. They're meant to bring justice to all wrongdoers. They're like a spectacle, so you can be the viewer and
down the road of twins.